Well, hello there. Last time we saw each other, I was standing here cooking for a cowboy. Well, I'm getting ready to cook for cowboys and Paige, to be exact. Lad and the crew are out working, and they don't want to stop and eat a lunch. So I'm gonna make them some portable rustic meatball subs. Super easy, very quick, and very, very cowboy friendly. I'm making the meatball mixture first. It is so simple. I just tore off the end of a loaf of French bread, and I'm going to pour some whole milk over the bread so the bread can kind of soak up the milk. I'm gonna add a pretty good amount, but you never wanna make meatballs with just meat. You definitely wanna break it up and give it that unmistakable meatball texture, and the bread does such a good job at that. So I've just been smushing the bread, and it has pretty much absorbed all the milk. Now comes the meat. I'm gonna do a mixture of ground beef and breakfast sausage. This is just good old American pork breakfast sausage, and it's got a little bit of a spicy kick to it. Just gonna crack in an egg and a bunch of minced garlic, a whole bunch of parsley. I really like meatballs to have those little flecks of green with each bite. Parmesan cheese and pepper. All right, I only added black pepper because the sausage has so much salt and I don't want to oversalt the meatballs. You can go in with your hands if you want to, or just use a spatula. Kind of think about your to-do list today while you're mixing it all up. I'm gonna be pretty generous with the size of the meatballs, so they're about the size of a golf ball, and I'm not gonna worry about rolling them into perfect rounds. I'm just gonna kind of get them in a general round shape, and then I'm gonna form the rest of these, put them into the pan as I go, and I'm gonna cook them until they're nice and brown on all sides. So while I do that, let me fill you in on what Lad's been up to since he came and ate pancakes. Lad and the guys are hauling cattle today, so he met up with Paige and the cowboys over at the house. They headed out to the pasture where they unloaded their horses, rode out into the cold but sunny morning to gather the cattle.
Just let them go nice and easy.
They'll go out that gate.
And brought them to the pens, ready to start loading them onto trucks.
So we got the cattle gathered, now we gotta haul them. So we're all gonna kind of work together here and travel together. So we're gonna get 10 to load on Paige. Come on, girls. Come on, girls.
They have 4 trucks and they do them one by one. Right now, they're about halfway through the loading. So by the time they finish up, haul the cattle, and get here to the lodge, they will really be ready for lunch. For cowboy types like those guys, meatball subs are a no-brainer. They're gonna be a little messy, but oh, they're gonna be good. The meatballs are really brown. In fact, one side got really brown, which is nice. They're gonna simmer in sauce. And I'm just using marinara sauce. And I think 1 jar is gonna do. I'm gonna add some parsley to the top. This is just kind of a shortcut element to this dish. I wanted to spend the time making the meatballs homemade, but I think good jarred marinara sauce is just so great, especially for busy times of the day. And you really often don't even know that it was from a jar because they really, really taste so good. All right, kind of stirred the parsley in, and I want to make sure all the meatballs are totally covered in sauce. Perfect. So now I just want to put the lid on, and I'm gonna let the meatballs simmer and finish cooking in the sauce. It's time to build these meatball subs. This is gonna be the fun part. I want you to look at this cheese. Oh, it is just perfect. It's not just totally inundated with cheese everywhere. It's just enough to say meatball sub, because that's exactly what they are. Now I'm taking a little more parsley and just sprinkling it on. It just makes it extra pretty, I think. And I'm gonna wrap these sandwiches in a piece of parchment that is inside a piece of foil, just to give the guys a fighting chance to keep everything together. But listen, nobody expects a meatball sub to be anything but a messy proposition. So if it's kind of hard to eat, that's sort of part of the experience. So I think each sandwich will probably take about 4 meatballs max. With every meatball, I'm getting a spoonful of sauce, and that's just gonna kind of soak into the bread below. And get one more in there. Oh my gosh, this looks heavenly. And then there's plenty of sauce in here to go in and just get a little extra, kind of put it on the other side of the meatballs. So I'm gonna get it kind of in the center of the parchment with the cut side up, and I'll fold one side over, and then I'll bring the other side up, and then I won't have to roll it and spill the sauce out. Okay, that's one meatball sub. Now I'm gonna build the rest.